I was born and raised in the city of Detroit. Grew up on the north end initially, right across the street from Dolores Bennett Park. And then we moved a little further east toward John Marshall Elementary School. And that's where I spent the bulk of my young and teenage years in that area. I attended John Marshall Elementary. Well, let me back up. First, I went to Brightmeyer Elementary when I stayed on the north end, and I graduated from John Marshall Elementary, which is a part of Detroit Public Schools. Then I matriculated to Nolan Middle School, so I am a Nolan Knight. And then I, of course, went to the best school in Detroit, which is Detroit Pershing High School. I am proud to be a doughboy, and I bleed blue and gold. You know, my educational path was very interesting, and a lot of people don't know this about me, but initially I attended Michigan State University, and I am still a true Go Green fan. I had some family issues, so I did come home, and then for a year I wasn't in school. I was just kind of trying to figure out what I wanted to do. Then I met my husband, and he saw a lot of the awards I received throughout high school, and he said, "You need to be back in college." And I really didn't want to go the path of student loans and a lot of debt, so I actually decided that I would self-fund myself to Wayne County Community College. I went to WC3D and I earned an associate's degree in accounting, summa cum laude, and I landed a full scholarship to University of Detroit Mercy. So I completed my dream of earning a bachelor's degree at UAD with a bachelor's in business administration with a focus in accounting. And then a few years later, I decided I want to keep going. So after I had my second child, I decided to attend Walsh College and earn an MBA in management. And then I said, go for the doctorate, right? Why not? I figured the PhD would stop me from going to college because I'm a lifelong learner, but it really didn't. I decided to go to North Central University because I was a working mom, and they offered a full online complement to help with my daily life of raising a child, a family, a husband, and also working full-time. And so having that online opportunity for education really helped me to achieve my goals of having a Doctor of Philosophy degree in business. I would describe myself as a person that exhibits excellence without excuses. I always try to get the best out of people because I try to exhibit and bring my best daily. What I believe is that oftentimes people are dealt a hand that they don't have some of the opportunities that others are able to take advantage of, particularly diverse communities. So when I first landed into the energy efficiency space, I thought, this is really great. But then I thought, where are the women? So it wasn't just the diverse women, it was all women. It's definitely a male-dominated field. And so as I began to matriculate and grow in this area, I had a passion to really make sure I'm able to help other women, help them grow, help them learn about energy. And so I began to participate in Career Day at elementary and middle schools. Wherever my voice would be heard, I was lending it to folk, be it on board of energy groups or in associations, conferences. I wanted to make sure women were represented and represented in leadership roles. I believe that those seeds of excellence in me were planted by my parents and my sister. My mom was really a zero tolerance type person who really didn't allow us to make excuses for things we didn't have growing up. If we had to go to Dolores Bennett Park for free lunch, we had to go over there for free lunch, right? If they didn't have funds to get us what we needed, we had to accept what we could get. And that really taught me to be more appreciative of life balances, of working hard and what a hard work ethic will get you in life. My dad had the best work ethic ever. He would go to work and work overtime and do whatever he needed to do for the family. And so as I watched them and studied and learned, I was determined that I would pursue an education that they weren't afforded an opportunity to do. Likewise, my sisters, I have two sisters, LaWanda Sampson and Cassandra Parker. And LaWanda taught me to really fight for what I wanted. And that fight could be literally or figuratively. And Cassandra taught me about excellence without excuses, the importance of family, and really credit. And that really helped me get into accounting and numbers. Because as she grew up, a lot of times in the African American community, we're not talking about credit. We're not teaching our children about credit cards and the importance of having good credit. And so her being 3 years older than me, she would, try for things before I had to experience it. And so her battle with achieving a high credit score, right, helped me. And so as she became 18, 19, 20, and I'm 15, 16, 17, she would always say, protect your credit, pay all your bills on time, do this. And those attributes really helped me be more responsible with my finances as I continued to pursue higher education, which is one of the reasons I left Michigan State University, because when I started getting to a point where a lot of the scholarships were non-renewable and I would have to be afforded loans, that was not a choice that I wanted to make. I believe that with my aptitude and my great grades and the scholarships that I had earned, a lot of them should have been renewable. So I work with the organizations now to help them see it from the student's perspective so that more scholarships are renewable and so that students have more opportunities at higher education in diverse communities. What makes me a leader is really my innate ability to drive greatness out of people. As a Six Sigma Black Belt, I've always been very process oriented. So, when I was reading about continuous improvement in Six Sigma, I thought, that's me already, right? But during the pandemic, I decided, it's not too much to do, you can't socialize. So I decided to finish my Six Sigma Black Belt because I've always been very process oriented and I tend to want people to think like me. And oftentimes they don't. And so what I find is that with processes, they are sustainable, they are consistent, and they allow things to be repeated. And when you have a defect, they allow things to be perfected. And so as I continue to matriculate in that regard, I believe my process-oriented, being married with my Six Sigma certification, allowed me to really hone in and bring out a great skill set in the workforce at SEAL and in my community. So initially, I was very autocratic, and I really wanted things done precisely my way and today, right? But as I continued to grow, I began to realize that sometimes a participatory style may be better. Sometimes people need a little push, a little effort, a little motivation, right? So I kind of shifted to a more mentoring style approach where I allow people to see things from my perspective. So you may say, hey, how do you do this? And I might say, how would you do it if you were presented an opportunity? And it may be incorrect, it may be correct, but then I'm able to coach them and say, well, have you thought about it from this perspective? I found that to be very helpful. It allowed, one, me to have more patience because I had to realize everybody's not Elois, right? The way I do things is not necessarily the way that you would do it. And so as a leader, I completed the Yale School of Management Women's Education Leadership Series in 2021. That really helped me to realize, okay, take a step back, change your approach, be more democratic in your leadership process, and you'll garner even more success. My greatest inspiration really comes from three women, I should say. One being maternal in my mother, another being Harriet Tubman for her tenacity to not only help herself but to help others, and the third will be Joyce Hayes Giles. My mother always brought things to me. So as I became an adult, I didn't understand why my mother would bring things to me because I'm the youngest child. So as the baby, I sort of thought, take this to one of the older siblings. Why does she bring this stuff to me? And interesting enough, even when she was diagnosed with a terminal illness, she had the doctor call me. And I'm thinking, years later, why did she call me? And it was revealed to me one day that she called me because she knew that I would handle it, right? Unbeknownst to her nor I, she had 2 days from diagnosis to death. So when she placed that call to me, she knew that she had to call someone that was going to be immediate with their action, and so she called me. And boy, was I immediate. I was working at SEAL. I left my office exactly like it was. I locked the door, and I was on the highway to get my mom and bring her back. And as I look back at it in hindsight, I realized that she did that because she knew, while I didn't know, she knew her time was coming to an end in this life on earth. And likewise, Harriet Tubman. You know, when you think about the things that she did to free slaves and to ensure not just her safety, but for others, she made sure she was paying it forward, right? Because she very well could have just accepted her bout for freedom and moved on. What I appreciate most is that she reached back, she helped others, and even later on, she continued to help those that needed help throughout her life. That's so me. I love to help others. I love to see people reach their finish line. I love to see women progress in areas that they didn't think they could, right? And I love to see our team win, whoever our team is, be it my son's football game, the SEAL team bidding for work, or my family, even my church. I love to see us win. And last but not least, Joyce Hayes-Giles is a power in the energy industry. When I first came to SEAL in 2011, she probably doesn't even know this, but I would always watch her and emulate many of the things she did. She exhibited grace and humility in everything that she did, and she was an example to African American women that there is no glass ceiling. You can do whatever you put your mind to as long as you work hard for it. Now, oftentimes you'll hear that diverse people have to work even harder. Sure, a doctorate degree was not required for what I wanted to be as president of SEAL. However, it was a personal aspiration of mine. So that, you know, watching Joyce and some of the other professionals and reading her book by 5 African American trailblazers really helped me to think, I'm better than this. As she said within her book, she'd sit in meetings, you know, with majority male dominated meetings, and she would continue to say to herself, I'm better than that. That helped me so much as I attended conferences and I received so many no's for signing up for boards and different committees. It was a no, a no, a no. I'm better than that. I just kept pushing. And so those 3 ladies really motivated me to get to where I am and to continue to push forward. The legacy that I'd like to leave behind is really a great role model, someone who was passionate about sustainability, and someone who really gave her best effort in everything that she attempted. You may not always win. I had to learn that the hard way. Quite a few no's with utility partners with my initial onset at SEAL, but that didn't stop me. No is not the final answer, and so I believe as long as you continue to persist and reach for greatness, you can achieve it. What I would like to share with little girls about their hopes and dreams is that little girls who dream become women with vision. Write your vision, make it plain, and make it come to pass. It's all up to you. No one controls your destiny but you.